And we're going out and interviewing professors in the department to learn a little bit more about them and also about the history of computing. And right now I have Dr. Lake with us. Dr. Lake, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Larry Lake, and I've been here for many years. I'm a professor. I teach reservoir engineering and geostatistics.
Awesome. Okay, so Dr. Lake, when and where do you remember using punch cards? Like, what projects were you using them for?
Oh gosh, it was about the sophomore year in college. It would have been 1964, 65 or so. And yes, we use punch cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, that's not the earliest one. Actually, the first computer class I had was a freshman that we used paper tape.
How did that work?
Well, there was this paper tape. It's like, what can I say? It was paper, yellow paper. And there was a machine that you just kind of put it in and wound it around the spindle and fed it. And you typed it, you put characters into the tape. When you finish, you took the tape off, take it over to the computer and run through it. The cards were a big improvement.
Really? How so?
Because every time you had made a mistake with the paper tape, you had to print out the whole tape. The tape, might be 5 or 6 feet long. But a card, you just had to replace that one card.
So would you use multiple punch cards for one program?
Oh yes, many. Hundreds, thousands sometimes.
So what about the transition from punch cards to other computers? How was that different or challenging?
Not particularly. It was much easier because you didn't have to load things around. It wasn't, it wasn't so hard to deal with. And most everything was just at your fingertips, so you could just try it and then push a button and run. Okay.
Can you remember a time where you were using punch cards and it was particularly frustrating, or like you had a project that was due and couldn't finish it because of the punch card?
No, not much. I remember sometimes when we stayed up really late to get it done, and that was mainly because you could only, not everybody had a computer, and so it was one computer for a lot of people, so you had to wait in line. And busy times, there was a lot of lines to get to it.
How long would a typical task doing? Like, I don't know. How long would a typical task take? Like a task that we would have done in class here?
Well, solving a 3x3 equation, I actually remember this one because it took a long time to get it right. Inverting a 3x3 matrix took about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes.
So would it be faster if you did it by hand, 3x3?
Pretty close. Pretty close. No, it would not be faster. And you would always make mistakes too, so, right.
Were they still fairly accurate, or were the newer ones more accurate?
I don't know if accuracy is much of an issue after a few years of computer science. Everything is super accurate, so I don't think we've ever had a case. I guess I did once in graduate school where accuracy was a question. You had to go to something called double precision, which means twice as many digits for every number. But aside from that, I don't think it was much of a problem.
So if you punched your cards wrong or you had a bug, how would you fix that? Would you paste over the hole with more paper?
No, you just throw away that card and type a new one and put it in. So there's a card for every statement.
Okay.
Right, and so if there was an error somewhere, or if you spotted a bug, you just take that card out and put a new one in.
Would you punch each hole yourself, or was there a machine for that?
There was a machine that did it.
Okay. Okay.
It was a typewriter machine, and it had things fed in the card, and it fed down into this thing that punched it, and you typed it and punched, and then when you push the button, you put it over here into a hopper.
Hopper, like a grain hopper. That sounds.
Yeah, we could call it a grain hopper. Yeah.
So were you nostalgic about punch cards not being transitioning away from punch cards, or do you know anyone who misses punch cards?
Well, a bunch of us old folks like to reminisce in the same way we talk about missing slide rules, but no, I don't think we're really nostalgic or anything.
Do you still have any of your punch cards that you
No, I don't. I think somebody's going to ask me that, and I don't even know where I would go look for them. What was cool about it was some people would put their cards in, and they would have a lot of answers, and so just a ton of cards would come out. So did lots of cards, a big thick thing that was bigger than what they started off with. And people always were impressed about this. Those people really had sophisticated programs. But the more you got into it, the more it became a status symbol to have a big thick deck to go in and have one card come out. And the last one that we did, you did it in groups. So we had a fairly thick deck, and we put it in, and we waited our minute and a half or so, and finally this one card fell out.
So that's like how efficient your program would be?
Oh, no, it was just a kind of a game. It wasn't the efficiency or anything at all. Efficiency would be how fast it took to get the answer. So it was a column of about, I think, 80 characters. And a big thing, and the only thing, and you would punch a place vertically in each column to tell you what it was, right? But the only thing you actually read or saw was at the top where it was printed out. So if it was like an A or something, there would be a certain number of things punched below it. The computer would know that it was an A.
Oh.
It was all things pretty clever. It's called a Holler of the Field, and it was much better than the paper tapes. Computer. Oh yeah, and I have to tell you, the answer came back on punch cards too.
How would you read that?
You have to take it to the same machine that you.
Will you punch the card in, or like
Yeah,
you
that's
created the
that
card?
part right. You had a machine to type in the cards, take the cards over to the computer, it read it, and then spit the answer out on the card. And then you had to take those cards over to another machine that printed it out.
And the other machine would print it in regular text.
Mhm.
Did you know anyone who was able to just like read it without like putting it into another printer? Just like have the punch card and like look at it and just be like, oh yeah, this is what it says?
Well, sure, you could take your hundreds of cards right there, and every card would have a different line at the top. It's like having a book that had only one line on every page. You see, flip the page, oh, okay, flip the page, something like that.
It's really interesting. Anything else that you want to tell us about punch cards?
No, there's no going back. I mean, it's much better now than they were. Right.